Some things don't heal, they just become familiar. The ache that lived in 2009 moved in and got peculiar about the room it chose inside the chest where I keep the things that don't heal through any amount of sleep. I stopped expecting them to around the 4th or 5th year of waiting for the morning where it would finally clear into something resembling the before of what it was. Some things don't heal, and acceptance is because the man who stands in rain with his eyes pressed shut isn't looking for the healing, isn't making any cut. Deal with time or with the weather to return him to before. Some things don't heal, and he's not keeping score. Some things don't heal, they just become the man. Some things don't heal, and you carry what you can without the expectation that the weight will go away. Some things don't heal, and they built me anyway. The poor burns beside the particular kind of grief that has no name in any language, that provides no real relief. Just the slow acknowledgement of its permanent address. Some things don't heal, but they do get less. Less loud on certain mornings, less present in the room, less capable of ruining a Tuesday afternoon the way it used to manage in the earlier and rawer years. Some things don't heal, but they lose their grip on tears. I'm not telling you this to pull you toward the dark. I'm telling you because the most important mark of a man who's actually living is the honesty of what remains. Some things don't heal, and that's what the blues explains. Better than any therapy, better than any prescribed. Some things don't heal, and the blues is always described the particular human condition of carrying what won't leave. Some things don't heal, and we learn not to grieve. Every single morning, just the honest ones. Some things don't heal, and still we get things done. The poor are outlasted every man who said I wouldn't, every room that closed against me, every door I probably shouldn't have knocked on as many times as I did in the years before this one. The poor outlasted them, and I'm still the only one. I've been written off in boardrooms, in kitchens in the street, by men with better connections who thought they had me beat. By the simple math of resources, by the arithmetic of access, the poor who outlasted them is the only kind of progress. The poor who outlasted every version of the doubt. The poor who outlasted outlasted them, and I'm still doing fine. I light one deliberately on the days the pressure peaks, not as a celebration, but as a reminder that it speaks to the part of me that questions whether the cost is worth the burn. The poor outlasted them is the only thing I've learned. The rain doesn't extinguish it, the cold doesn't reach the ember. The same way certain men don't let the season of December, in whatever year it comes, with its particular kind of gray. The poor who outlasted them is what I say. There's a list I keep internally of every person who decided that I wasn't gonna make it, who felt completely right-sided in that particular assessment at that particular time. The poor who outlasted them, and the ember is still mine, still burning in the downpour, still holding in the cold. The poor who outlasted them is the best thing I've been told, by the evidence of continuing, by the proof of still being here. The poor who outlasted them, and so did I this year. Rain knows my name better than most people do. It's found me in every city, in every version of the blue that my life is worn through the decades of the trying. The rain knows my name, and it doesn't need explaining. It found me in Chicago on a night I'd rather keep. It found me in the parking lot when I couldn't go to sleep. In the apartment I was leaving, with nothing but the key. The rain knows my name, because it's always finding me. Not as punishment, not as any kind of sign, just as the honest companion of the difficult design of a life that keeps on testing whether the man still holds. The rain knows my name, and it knows what the test involves. The rain knows my name, and it calls it without speaking. The rain knows my name through the years of the seeking and the years of the arriving. And whatever this is now, the rain knows my name, and it doesn't care how. I've made my peace with that, with the companionship of weather, with the fact that some men find their most honest life in weather. The storm is gonna break them or reveal what's underneath. The rain knows my name is not a reason to grieve. It's the recognition of a man the elements respect, for showing up regardless, for never looking wrecked, enough to turn away from what the open air delivers. The rain knows my name, and it knows I don't shiver. There's a version of this life where I took the easier road, where I found the covered doorway. Every time the weather showed its particular kind of honesty about what I was made of. The rain knows my name is the most accurate love letter that the world has written to the man who didn't hide. The rain knows my name is what I carry inside on every dry and comfortable morning when I almost forget. The rain knows my name, and the rain hasn't forgotten yet. Nothing left to lose tonight. It's not the dark thing that it sounds. It's the lightest I have felt in any year, on any grounds. Of the life I've been constructing, from the pieces and the parts. Nothing left to lose tonight is where the real freedom starts. I've lost the things worth losing long before this particular evening. The illusions and the safety nets, the comfortable believing that the road would be more gentle than the road is chosen to be. Nothing left to lose tonight is what it means to be free. The man who has everything moves differently than this one. Careful and protective of the ground beneath the sun, of his accumulated comfort, of his carefully arranged. Nothing left to lose tonight, moves through it unrestrained. Nothing left to lose tonight Nothing left to lose tonight runs deeper than the deep. I stood outside this evening, completely without armor. Let the rain find every surface that I'd built the walls around before, of self-protection and of caution that the earlier years required. Nothing left to lose tonight is what it means to be unwired. From the fear of the outcome, from the fear of the exposure, of the man beneath the building, of the man before the composure, was something I developed, like a language for the room. Nothing left to lose tonight dissolves the whole costume. If you've been protecting something that was lost years ago, if you've been guarding empty rooms of a house you used to know, before the year that changed the floor plan, before the walls came down inside, nothing left to lose tonight is not a place to hide. It's the most honest kind of open that a closed man ever finds. Nothing left to lose tonight is where the silent man unwinds, not into weakness, into clarity of who he actually is. Nothing left to lose tonight finally becomes his. City blue behind me, blurred into the wet afternoon. People moving somewhere, all of them moving soon. Past the man who isn't moving, past the profile in the poor. City blue behind me is what I'm standing for. I don't belong to the city. The city belongs around me, like a backdrop for the version of myself that finally found me in the stillness of the open, in the middle of the crowd. City blue behind me, and I'm not moving now. City blue behind me, rain across my face. City blue behind me is the most honest kind of space between the man I was in it, running with its pace, and the man who stepped outside it. City blue behind me is the most important place. I've lived in 3 cities in the decades worth of trying to figure out if the location was the cause of all the lying I did to myself about what I needed to feel settled. City blue behind me is where I finally leveled. The answer wasn't the address, wasn't the view from the apartment, wasn't the net photo of this moment gets developed into something. It'll show a man who figured out the city wasn't everything. It was just the blue behind him, just the context of the frame. City blue behind me is not the point of the game. The point is the man standing with the amber and the rain, who finally stopped looking at the city for the answer. City blue behind me made a much better dancer of the life that I was living when I stopped dancing to the city's tune. City blue behind me is just a beautiful background of the man who finally knew. I close my eyes in the middle of the downpour, not from exhaustion, not from anything like before, when I used to close them because the weight was too much. Eyes closed in the storm is a different kind of touch. This time it was deliberate, the way a man decides to receive what's falling on him without the usual fight inside of whether it should be this hard, whether he deserves the cold. Eyes closed in the storm is what happened when I got old. Enough to understand that the rain isn't personal, that the hard years weren't a punishment, that the loss was universal, in the way that every man who's lived enough eventually knows. Eyes closed in the storm is where the real man goes. Eyes closed in the storm, that's the deepest kind of still. Eyes closed in the storm is not surrender, it's the will to receive without resisting, to absorb without the fight. Eyes closed in the storm is the most honest kind of right. The puro keeps on burning even as the rain comes harder. The ember holds its ground the way a real man holds his border, between the thing that's falling and the thing he refuses to release. Eyes closed in the storm is the most expensive kind of peace. I've stood in this particular position in different cities, different weather, different versions of the same storm, with a different kind of tether to the life I was protecting from the version that might have broken. Eyes closed in the storm is the prayer I've always spoken. If you never stood in the open with your eyes closed in the rain and felt the specific freedom of not running from the pain, then you haven't found the version of yourself that needs no shelter. Eyes closed in the storm is the deepest kind of filter between the man who needs the comfort and the man who's finally found that the storm is It's the will to receive without resistance.
I chose the hard version when the easy one was offered. I turned down the shortcut when the shortcut was affordable. Not from masochism, not from any noble reason. I chose the hard version because the easy one was seasonal. It would have lasted one good year, maybe two before the erosion of what makes a man himself started the slow corrosion of the standard that he holds in the private of his chest. I chose the hard version, and it failed every test. Except the most important one, the one that runs the longest, the one that asks the question of which version is the strongest. After 20 years of weather, after 20 years of cost, I chose the hard version, and I haven't once felt lost. I chose the hard version, and it chose me back. I chose the hard version, didn't cut me any slack, but every scar it gave me is the evidence of real. I chose the hard version, is the only thing I feel good about consistently when the accounting gets done. Late on Thursday evenings after the week has run its particular course, through whatever it decided, I chose the hard version, and I've never been divided from the man I chose to be in the earliest decision of the many that would follow with the same kind of precision. The hard version doesn't offer the comfort of the crowd. I chose the hard version, and it's never been too loud. The rain of grace tonight falling on the man who chose the version that required standing in whatever flows down from whatever sky decides to test the choosing. I chose the hard version, and I've never been losing the thing that matters most, which is the core of who I am. I chose the hard version, is the only honest-ogram of a life worth measuring at the end of all the years. I chose the hard version, and it's the least of all my fears. buried it alone, the way men like me do, not in a ceremony, not with anyone who knew what it cost to carry, what it cost to finally put down. I buried it alone in the ground beneath this town. It was the version of myself that still believed in easy, that still believed the people who made promises too breezy to survive the first hard winter of what real life requires. I buried it alone, and I kept the funeral quiet. No one came to watch it, no one brought the flowers. I just stood above it in the coldest kind of hours that the year it offered, and I let it go for good. I buried it alone, the way I always knew I would. I buried it alone, in the dark and in the wet. I buried it alone, and I haven't lost sleep yet over the version of the man that couldn't hold the weight. I buried it alone before it got too late. The pool kept on burning through the whole of the burial. The rain came down like something that had always been familiar with the particular grief of a man who buries quietly. I buried it alone is the most honest kind of diary. What I buried was the softness that the world had almost used to keep me in a position of the permanently confused about what I was worth, about what I was owed. I buried it alone, and I lightened up the load. If you're carrying something now that has been dead for years, but you haven't found the ground for it yet, through the fears of what you become after, of who you are without it. I buried it alone is the most important outlet. Find the ground, find the hour, find the rain if it'll come. I buried it alone, and after that I finally won. Not the fight I've been expecting, but the quieter kind of war. I buried it alone, and I don't miss what it was for. I stopped asking why around the third bad year. Stopped looking for the reason that the cost was what it was here. Started just accepting that the road was what it handed. I stopped asking why and finally understood what it demanded. Why is the most expensive question a man can carry long. It weighs more than the answer. It stays after the wrong has already passed through and left its mark behind. I stopped asking why is the most freeing state of mind. I stood in the rain once for 2 hours asking it. Got soaked through to everything without a single benefit of an answer worth the waiting, of an answer worth the cold. I stopped asking why is the most important thing I've been told. I stopped asking why, and the silence became useful. I stopped asking why, and the weight became less brutal, not lighter, just more honest about its permanent address. I stopped asking why and started asking what comes next. What comes next is actionable. What comes next has a direction. Why has only ever led me back to the same intersection of the thing that happened and the man it happened to. I stopped asking why and started moving through the pool road between my lips. Burns without an explanation of why the ember holds through every precipitation. It just does because it does, and so do I. On most days I stopped asking why is the most honest kind of praise. If you're still in the asking, if the why is still the center of the architecture of your grief, of the room you keep on entering with the same unanswered question and the same exhausted eyes, I stopped asking why is not advice. It's just what happens when the asking finally costs more than the not knowing, and I chose to bear the loss of the answer I was chasing for the peace of letting it be. I stopped asking why, and why finally let go of me. Deep in the blue hour, between the day and the dark, when the city loses color and the edges lose their mark of definition and of purpose, that the daylight keeps so clear. Deep in the blue hour is where I disappear. Not from the world entirely, just from the version that performs for the daylight and its audience, for the social and its norms, into the man that nobody schedules a meeting with. Deep in the blue hour is where I live beneath the myth of the composing of the certain, of the man who always knows what the next move is before the current moment goes. Into the past it becomes faster than I'd like. Deep in the blue hour is where I find the right. Deep in the blue hour is the truest kind of place. Deep in the blue hour shows the realest kind of face. Not the one built for the morning, not the one built for the room. Deep in the blue hour is the man before the costume. The puro in this image burns in the blue light of the city. Not for any audience, not for any particular pretty version of the moment, just because it burns. Deep in the blue hour is what the ember earns. I've had my most important thoughts in this particular shape of light that isn't day yet, and isn't dark yet, and hasn't made its final decision about what the hour will be. Deep in the blue hour is where I finally see what needs to be seen about the state of what I'm building. What needs to be released about the weight I've been gilding. With a gold leaf of importance that it maybe doesn't deserve. Deep in the blue hour has the most honest kind of nerve to show a man himself without the flattering of noon, without the mercy of the midnight, just the blue and the puro and the room of the city and its rain, and the man who stands inside it. Deep in the blue hour is the truest way to find it, the version that you are when nobody's composing you. Deep in the blue hour is the most accurate view. The dark kept everything I couldn't say in daylight. Every thought too heavy for the social and the polite version of the conversations that the morning always brings. What the dark kept is underneath the surface of things. The dark kept the anger that I never aimed at anyone, because the people around me weren't the source of what was done to the version of my life that the decade rearranged. What
what the dark kept
is the stuff that never changed.
Into something manageable, into something I could name at a dinner table conversation,
without derailing the whole game
of appearances and function that a man maintains in public. What the dark kept
is the most important subject.
What the dark kept is the truest kind of record. What the dark kept can never be a second version of the sanitized story that I tell. What the dark kept
is where the real things dwell. I've stood in the rain like this on 3 separate occasions, where the dark had kept enough to require its own translation into water falling outward from the inside of a man. What the dark kept finally ran.
Not as breakdown, not as crisis, not as anything that visible, just as the slow release of everything invisible that the dark had been collecting through the years of keeping still. What the dark kept is what the rain can finally spill out. If you've kept your own dark full of the things that needed saying in a year that didn't offer any reasonable weighing of the cost against the release, find your rain, find your open. What the dark kept is better finally spoken, not to anyone in particular, just to the sky and to the street. What the dark kept too heavy and too neat to carry indefinitely in the chest of a silent man. What the dark kept needs a plan to become something lighter on the other side of standing in the weather with your eyes closed. What the dark kept is finally landing.
She was the last one who knew the version before the armor, before I learned to carry everything quieter and calmer than the situation warranted. She knew the raw one. The last one who knew is the one I think about at 1. Not with longing for the past, but with the particular gratitude of having been known completely by someone with the latitude to see the unfinished version and stay anyway for years. The last one who knew has probably dried those tears. By now in whatever life she's living, in the after of the chapter that we shared before it came to the rafter of whatever ceiling holds the endings of the good things. The last one who knew heard all of my unchosen hymns. The last one who knew was the last one to see. The last one who knew the unguarded version of me. Not the man in the rain, not the man with the puro and the coat. The last one who knew is the deepest thing I wrote. I think of her on evenings when the rain is this particular blue, when the city blurs exactly the way it used to do. Through the window of the apartment that we left before the end. The last one who knew is a letter I'll never send. Not because I'm bitter, not because it ended badly, just because some things are kept more honestly in the private of the chest, where the unhailable things live. The last one who knew is the most I'll ever give. To anyone who asks me why the profile and the closed eyes in the middle of the downpour, I'll tell them no specific lies, just that I'm remembering something that deserves the rain. The last one who knew is the most specific kind of pain that doesn't need a name, doesn't need a conversation. The last one who knew is its own private nation, inside the man who's standing with the ember and the gray. The last one who knew is a long and quiet way from here to where she is now, and the rain is just the distance made visible for once. The last one who knew is the most honest kind of instance of a man feeling something real in the only way he knows, standing in the open, letting all of it go. I stopped making every decision with my head, started letting the rain decide some things instead. Not the important ones, not the ones with names on them, but the small ones that were wearing me to the stem. Whether to go left or right on a walk that means nothing, whether to call today or let the silence keep running its particular course through the gap between two people. Let the rain decide is under the same steeple. There's every piece of wisdom I've collected without asking from the man who did the living, without the need for tasking. Every moment with a purpose, every silence with a plan. Let the rain decide is what it means to be a man. Let the rain decide what the schedule can't account for. Let the rain decide what the calendar won't stand for. In the margins of the structure, in the spaces of the plan, let the rain decide is the quietest reprimand. Of the version of myself that needed everything controlled, that needed every outcome mapped and measured and enrolled in the particular vision of the future I demanded. Let the rain decide is what the Puro commanded. I stood outside this evening, let it soak through everything, not making a single decision. Let the weather do its thing with the hour and the direction of whatever comes from standing. Let the rain decide is not misunderstanding. It's the highest form of trusting that the moment holds the answer, that the man who stops demanding becomes the better dancer. Through the life that keeps on moving, regardless of the plan, let the rain decide is how a silent man between the grip and the release. Let the rain decide is where the movement finds its peace. Between the ember and the downpour, between the closed eye and the city, let the rain decide is the most precise kind of clarity. I used to run inside when the first drop hit. Used to need the shelter of not having to sit with whatever the weather decided to deliver. I stopped running inside somewhere around the river. Oh, the year that took the most from the deepest part of me, where I couldn't find the shelter that I thought would set me free from the particular kind of feeling that only rain brings out. I stopped running inside and learned what it was about. Outside is just the outside, and the inside is the man, and the man has to decide whether the condition of the weather gets to dictate the condition of the soul. I stopped running inside when I finally felt whole. I stopped running inside when I learned the rain was honest. I stopped running inside because the shelter broke its promise. Every time I hid in it from the thing that needed facing, I stopped running inside and started the replacing. avoidance mechanism with the simple act of standing. And whatever falls around me with the basic understanding that the wet is temporary, but the man who stands in it, I stop running inside, is the permanent benefit. Decide to test again. I stop running inside, and I'd stop it all again. There's a man inside this image, with his eyes at peace, with the rain across his face, who found his release, not in the dry rooms, not in the comfortable and known, but in the open and the fallen. I stop running inside, is the most important thing I've ever called my home. Something in me died before I ever thought of quitting. The optimistic version, the one that kept on fitting itself into the spaces that weren't built for it. Something in me died, and I'm grateful for it. It was the part that needed everyone to understand, the part that kept explaining with an outstretched hand, for someone to confirm that the direction was correct. Something in me died before I lost my self-respect. What survived was harder, what survived was quieter, what survived moved differently through every room and every fire. Oh, the test that kept on coming after the soft part went away. Something in me died, and I became this way. Died before I quit, that's the order that it happened. Died before I quit, the process never slackened. The soft thing left first, then the work continued. Died before I quit, is how the man got tuned. I don't mourn the version that the hardness replaced. I know what it cost, and I know what it erased. Was never going to survive the decade that was coming. Died before I quit, was the only kind of running. That made any sense in the direction I was heading. The death of the soft thing was the most important threading of the this man planned.
Look at the man in the rain, with the ember in the closed eyes. He's not peaceful because nothing happened. He's peaceful because something dies.
And every man who's lived enough to find the other side of it, something in him died, and he's grateful for it.
Not the death of the good things, not the death of what was real. Something in me died,
Is how some men finally heal. Not by keeping all of it, not by refusing the loss. Something in me died before I quit, and that death was worth the